This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Downtown St. Louis, Game 2, Royals and Cardinals. Last night in game number 1, the Cardinals only 3 base hits. Danny Duffy was tough. Alex Gordon in the 7th with a solo shot. That opened up the floodgates offensively for the Royals. They would defeat the Cardinals by the final of 6-0. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. That's Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And the Cardinals will try to finish up this homestand tonight with a win. It has been a very tough homestand for St. Louis.
Just 2-6 on this homestand, and that's after a very good homestand a week or so ago. So the Cardinals really need to finish strong here, go on to this road trip with a good note.
It'll be the lefty, Jaime Garcia, getting the start tonight for St. Louis. Hi, may I help you? A closer look at the lefty when we come back.
counts, batting average, whip, FIP, and VORP. The statistics tell the story, how the players play, and in turn, how much the owners pay. But whether you're a sabermetrician or an old-school purist, you'll agree that there's one player that cannot completely be defined by the numbers. That player is Yadier Molina. You can track his average. You can time his throws to second. You can count the balls he blocks. And you can calculate his WAR. But that only scratches the surface. Yadier Molina made his Major League debut 10 years ago today. He has gone from rookie backup catcher to a starter that couldn't hit, to the best defensive catcher in the game, who still mostly hit singles.
I think we all saw that he had the ability to put up a tough at-bat, and so you could see that he was probably going to be a good average hitter.
To the best defensive catcher in the game, who can also hit with some power.
He's kind of taken every possible weakness and turned them into strengths, and that's just by will and work.
To arguably the most valuable all-around player in baseball.
He's an artist back there, how he thinks about the game, how he controls the game, how he just handles the leadership position of being a catcher.
Most players hit their peak at 26 or 27. Yadi turned 28 and has been an MVP candidate every year since.
I think when Albert left, that's when you saw Yadier's career take off on a different level, where he started being the hitter almost that Albert was.
Mike Matheny, who Yadi replaced in 2004, said he knew that Molina was destined for stardom from the first game he played.
Defensively, there really wasn't a whole lot of prophecy there. You could see this guy was above everybody else, even coming up through the system, and just had instincts, and a lot of that having two brothers in the big leagues and a father that knew the game and taught the position. Those things, you could see he was ahead of everybody else.
Adam Wainwright, who has thrown over 15,000 pitches to Molina in his career, says Yadi can slow the game down for his pitchers and help them focus on one thing only, playing catch. There are 13 catchers who played in the major leagues and have been inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Basic math would suggest that's about one per decade, about one every generation. It's been exactly 1 decade since Yadier Molina first wore the birds on the bat. We've watched the youngest of the Molina brothers blend his proficiency at the plate with his brilliance behind it. And the result is a catcher destined for Cooperstown. The question is, what else can he accomplish before he gets there?
Yadier Molina made his debut. It was just 4 days ago. The Major League debut for Oscar Taveras. Both in the lineup tonight. Baseball next. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Mid-America Chevy dealers to take advantage of Truck Month offers on the all-new Chevy Silverado. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Superhero night here at the ballpark. There's no question Rick Hort would love to party with them.
My kind of guys.
Absolutely. Take a look at the Royals lineup. They put up 6 runs in game 1. Aoki will lead it off, followed by the veteran Omar Infante, then Eric Hosmer. Alex Gordon will bat cleanup. He got it started last night in the 7th inning with a home run. Then Perez, Kane, Moustakas a big double to make it 3-0 in game 1. Then Escobar and the pitcher James Shields. The Kia starter is a left-hander, Jaime Garcia.
Start number 4 for Jaime, and he has been very good in his first 3. No walks, 0. 19 2/3 innings, the ERA just over 4. Probably pitched even a little bit better than that. And a 1-0 record for Garcia. And, of course, the key for him is to have that good sinker down in the zone. That is his bread and butter.
4 lefties in this lineup tonight for Ned Yost as you get a look at Mike Matheny. Early start time, so the sun is a factor, in particular for Oscar Taveras in right field tonight. Aoki, you have to play in with him. 6 bunt hits this year. That leads the American League. And a 5-way tie for the Major League lead in terms of infield hits. 13 this year. Ground ball, that's pulled foul.
We studied his eyes last night. We've seen him doing it already where he's looking down the third base line and the first base line for an option.
C.B. Buckner calling balls and strikes. Trip Gibson at first. Dale Scott, the crew chief, at second. Dan Isonia is down at third. 0-2 the count. And the next by Jaime. A breaking ball in the dirt. For Garcia, his 4th career start against Kansas City. First time he's faced them since 2011. And one of the things that you love about Garcia so far, no walks in his starts, which you talked about. Very good control. Molina sets up outside and a 2-2. Chopped foul.
Garcia, one of those pitchers that you just throw the speed gun away. It just doesn't make any difference. He's not about velocity. It's all about movement with Jaime Garcia. That's his best asset, and the movement is more effective when it starts out about thigh high and ends up just below the knee. Really a downward break on that sinker. There's the slider from Garcia. He also has an outstanding changeup, and I've kind of been an advocate with Garcia. Really, any left-hander with an outstanding changeup, don't be afraid to throw it to left-handed batters.
3-2 is put in play. Backing up a step or two is Matt Carpenter. In the outfield tonight, Holiday in left, Jay is at center. Oscar Taveras, another start in right field. Along the infield, Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Craig. Craig no errors this season. Molina behind the plate. Around the horn brought to you by Dobbs.
You made a great point with Oscar Taveras playing right field today with that sun that we are experiencing. It's very important to me that Colton Wong and John Jay do a good job of communicating with Oscar. And if a ball is hit, don't just assume that Oscar sees it or understands the depth of where the ball's headed. Communicate early and often.
Omar Infante signed a 4-year deal to come to Kansas City. There's the changeup. Nothing at 2. He's now in his 13th big league season. And spent the last 2 years in the American League with Detroit. And here's an 0-2 pitch. Blocked by Molina. 1-2. Some of the honors handed out, both leagues, the American and National League honors for Player of the Month. Colton Wong, the National League Rookie of the Month. He has made his impact felt since he's come back up and looked like a different player. He's been aggressive, relaxed,
confident.
And confident is right. Madison Bumgarner was the pitcher of the month, and Tanaka in the American League for the Yankees, the pitcher of the month.
We can attest to Bumgarner being the pitcher of the month in the National League. He was terrific against the Cardinals.
Think about that staff that he's on too. Lincecum, who's not the pitcher that he once was, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, but the credentials certainly stand out. Matt Cain. There's a strikeout for Jaime Garcia. He has now struck out 20 this season and is yet to walk a man. Brings in Eric Hosmer. So this May, .333 average, the 4 steals, 6 RBIs, and really a catalyst at the top of this lineup.
Really think he got started, Dan, the game we did, and we had a chance of doing it across the way at Ballpark Village, and really enjoyed that telecast there. And he had a bunt base hit that day, and I just think there's something about him maybe discovering the fact that he can be himself at this level and he belongs here, and that really got him going, and he's been really solid since then. Not playing every day, and maybe that's good. Give Mark Ellis some time, but he's certainly making his mark.
Nothing at 2 on Hosmer, a breakout season a year ago for the first baseman of the Kansas City Royals. He was 12 hits shy of 200 last year. Hitless in game 1. And he strikes out. He's 3 for 23 on the road trip for Kansas City. A couple of strikeouts for Garcia. Half inning in the books. No score from Busch. for Mike Matheny's club, followed by Colton Wong, then Holiday, Craig, and Molina, Oscar Taveras, Johnny Peralta, John Jay, and Jaime Garcia. And the Cardinals will face a good one tonight in right-hander James Shields. He is 6-3 for Kansas City this season.
He's a good one, but he's had a couple of bad starts where he's allowed a lot of home runs. And of course, one of those starts was against Toronto, which is a team that the Cardinals will be playing on this upcoming road trip, who hit a lot of home runs collectively. But Shields is a competitor, very fiery. He's a guy that actually likes to set the defense behind him more than most pitchers do. He wants a little bit of a say in where guys do shifts, etc., and pretty adamant about that, but he knows what he's doing, and again, very competitive.
It's a trade with Tampa Bay that brought Shields to Kansas City. Will Myers, American League Rookie of the Year, was part of that deal. Kansas City really rolled the dice, gave up what they knew was a good young hitting prospect to get Shields because they felt they were ready to really get over the hump, have a chance to get into postseason play.
Myers unfortunately got hurt, now on the disabled list, may miss the rest of the season for Tampa Bay, but you mentioned Rookie of the Year a year ago.
.30 walks to mix in with those 66 hits for Carpenter. He's batting .286 and saw his 14-game hit streak come to a close last night. I think more and more, Rick, we're seeing catchers go down to one knee. Have you noticed that lately?
I did notice that, yeah.
Perez just did that.
So we saw him do that last night, and also saw a couple of balls get away from him. He actually had a bit trouble framing the ball on one side of the plate, the off side of the plate. So you go down on a knee, you're just much less mobile.
And I've talked to many catchers about this. They say they'll do it not with two strikes normally, because they want to be able to shift side to side. So traditional crouch behind the plate that you see Perez in here, but with no one on, they will do that. It's a comfort level, and the other thing that I've heard is that they feel it gives the umpire a better look at the strike zone.
Interesting. Since they'd be a little bit lower.
Exactly.
Nobody got as low as Tony Pena did. He do that little squat, put one leg way out.
A base hit for Carpenter. Some good players defensively for Kansas City out there tonight. Outstanding left. He won a Gold Glove and nearly 60 outfield assists since he moved to the outfield. Then Kane at center, Aoki is in right, Moustakas at third, Escobar, Infante up the middle. Hosmer won a Gold Glove last year, and so did their catcher Salvador Perez.
And we've seen Moustakas play very well at third.
Strike to Colton Wong. A short lead at first by Matt Carpenter. And a ground ball. Gloved by Hosmer. Bobbles. And to first, everybody's safe. Could have been a double play. Instead, nobody is out here in the first.
Well, we saw in game one, Colton Wong tried to do maybe too much with a ground ball, trying to get two, tried to hurry. Hosmer tries to hurry, loses the handle. Where is it? Bobbles finally comes up with it. Now the backhand flip, and he kind of flips a changeup. Didn't really get a good grip on that either, so that should be an error on Hosmer, and it is.
His fifth error this season, and he was the first Royals first baseman to ever win a Gold Glove. Did that a season ago. Now it's Holiday and a chance to do some damage here in game two here in the first inning. Holiday was 2 for 3 with a walk. Cardinals had a total of 3 base hits, and during this homestand they have hit .216. Cardinals 3-6 in their last 9. All 3 wins were shutouts. Mike Matheny trying to figure out any kind of way to jumpstart his offense. Ripped out to center field, coming on Kane. He'll make the catch. Runners back to second and first as we turn to our Toyota keys to the game.
I'm going to actually start with the second one because we're right in the middle of this opportunity right now, and that is not to miss out on opportunities. The Cardinals have not had many of them, and especially on offense, you want to take advantage early. So we're right in the middle of key number 2 right now, doing it right. Try something new in my mind, Dan. Involves a lot of different things. And as I was thinking coming to the park today, there are times where a team and a player and a manager, you know, you just have to change your routine a little bit. Maybe it's batting practice. Maybe it's the lineup. Maybe it's kind of the time of the day that you get to the ballpark. Whatever it might be, there's a time where, because you're a creature of habit, you've got to get out of those habits if those habits are leading to losses, and maybe just try something different. Bob Force used to say, hey, do something different even if it's wrong. You just got to do that to kind of mix things up. Cardinals obviously in a funk right now, and a lot of talk about lineup changes, and that, of course, is the manager's purview. But individually, players ought to think about, let me start some new patterns.
Alan Craig, 30 RBIs. Nothing at 2. Solid month of May to take the team lead from Holiday in terms of RBIs. Did that this past week. Nothing at 2 the count. Base hit out to left on an 0-2 pitch. Carpenter will be held up. You do not run on Alex Gordon. Bases are loaded. To give you an idea just how good Gordon has been, 4 outfield assists this season, 58 since becoming a full-time outfielder in 2011, most in the major leagues in that span.
That ball was smoked, but Gordon did everything right on that. You see a guy charging the baseball, expecting the throw, wanting to throw, just daring you. Go ahead, try me. And you don't throw runners out from the outfield by sitting back, laying back, and throwing off your back foot.
And that pitch taken outside by Yadier Molina, who's celebrating 10 years in the big leagues today. What a career it has been. Bases loaded. 1 ball, no strikes. Make it 2-0.
Shields has a very interesting motion to come set. I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody do what he does. Almost kind of a rounded move to come set.
Molina up the middle, could be 2. Out at second. Oh, they turn the double play, and Yadi is frustrated to say the least. We saw it last night. Escobar robbing the Cardinals of a base hit, then turning it into 2. He does it here in the first inning. And what a turn by Infante. Cardinals lose a golden opportunity. Jim Hayes, what can Mike Matheny do to get this Cardinals offense going? Every opportunity, even just moments ago.
Yeah, he says that he understands fans are frustrated. He says he's frustrated, and Danny says he's doing everything he can to try to get this team jump-started. He says, yes, there have been team meetings. Yes, there have been speeches. He says many, many speeches. And, of course, he's made a number of moves that he was hoping would get this team moving in the right direction. Mike says he understands that people will label him the optimist, but he believes the team will hit. He says this will be a tale of two seasons. The second one will be when his team gets on a big roll, and Danny's hoping for that to happen really soon.
Absolutely. It's Alex Gordon who will lead it off, and he homered last night in the 7th inning off of Shelby Miller. And Jim, a final question. Any news with Matt Adams and how the calf and the leg is progressing and when we might see him back?
Still on the DL with a left calf strain. He told me today it's doing better. He says, however, he has not been cleared to run yet. He also said he's not going on this road trip, so he'll have plenty of time to stay back and get some treatment. But he says he feels like when he's eligible to come off the DL, he'll be ready to go. And, Dan, that'll happen when the Cards come home on June 13th. So he's optimistic, though right now he's in a holding pattern.
Yeah, June 13th, Washington will be in St. Louis for their lone visit. Thank you, Jim. Good job as always. And then you have a great problem if you're Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak, which is a surplus of outfielders and a surplus of hitters. Now, Matt Adams has not hit for the power that we've seen previous years, but he has hit for average. Little check swing, and Colton Wong makes a very nice play. Alcides Escobar came over from Milwaukee, and a dazzling play last night late. Nice pick by Hosmer. And then tonight, why not do it again? Bases loaded, one out. He robs Yadier Molina. Infante, and Molina is still upset. Look at that. You don't see it usually carried over to the field like that from Yadier Molina. We saw him slam his helmet after he went down the first base line, and then that was after the warm-up tosses by Garcia, and this is Salvador Perez.
We understood the situation. His team had not scored a run in 19 innings, and they had a golden opportunity to get on the board first to help out Garcia, and hit the ball okay up the middle, just didn't find a hole. And it wasn't just Escobar. You pointed out very well, Dan, that was a pretty good turn by the second baseman Infante. Actually good yesterday and good today.
2 balls and 1 strike on Salvador Perez. Three for 4 last night. Couple of runs scored. Chopped to third, and Carpenter makes the play. Well, it's been a good start so far for Jaime Garcia.
One thing he did last inning that I noticed, people say left-handers, you can't pitch him down and in. Well, guess what? Garcia did pitch him down and in. He went further down and further in. They say left-handers, and it is true, like the ball down and in. They tend to just drop the bat head and like that pitch. But if that's your strength, go to it. Just throw it a little bit further off the plate and make sure it has that good movement, and you can still tie him up, and that's exactly what Jaime did.
Lorenzo Cain is hitting .359 over his last 10 games at .328 overall. He was also a finalist for the Gold Glove Award. And for those of you that are into zone ratings, second among center fielders in the American League. Very good speed. Hits it sharply to third. 6 up, 6 down for Jaime Garcia. 2 up, the youngster, Oscar Taveras, when we come back. Tweet your photo using the hashtag STLFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Whitey Herzog ran Kansas City and St. Louis.
Love seeing Whitey at the ballpark.
Sharp as ever. Oscar Taveras.
And he knows what's going on. Trust me, when he's at the game, he knows what the pitcher's trying to do. He understands and thinks about what the managers are doing. I've talked to Whitey about this a lot. He is into the game, very much up on everything Cardinal baseball, but even beyond that, he's very, very knowledgeable, and as he always has been.
Taveras hits it sharply into right field and a base hit. We saw in spring training a couple of springs ago when Oscar had the most at bats of anybody for the Cardinals. The ball just jumps off his bat. I don't think, Rick, there's any doubting that.
Mislocation there, but there's the quick hands. Ball meant to be away, ends up down and in, and rides in a little bit from Shields. And I think what everybody has really noticed in the early going with Taveras is his extension. He does not get cheated.
No, sir. There's the hit speed, over 100 miles an hour coming off the bat. Now Johnny Peralta. Peralta leads the club in strikeouts, also home runs with 9. And he's had very good numbers against James Shields. These two have faced each other 29 times. And Peralta 11 of 29, 3 home runs. The 0-1. If the Cardinals win the World Series in 1985, Whitey Herzog is in the Hall of Fame, I think, earlier, much earlier. Ran minor league systems, managed, designed teams. Peralta hits it sharply out to left, and the catch is made by Alex Gordon.
I'm just happy, thrilled that he had a chance to get into the Hall of Fame and was honored to be there to hear his speech that day. I happened to have a day off. We were on the road somewhere in New York or Philadelphia, one of the two, and I had a chance to go to his induction ceremony. There's his wonderful wife, Mary Lou, to his right. And I wonder how many baseball games Mary Lou has seen.
Here's John Jay, 8th place hitter. She probably manages right along with Whitey. Whitey told me, and I had an interview with him. For those of you that head to the Cardinals Hall of Fame, you'll see that we had a number of guys that we tracked down, Hall of Famers that have ties to St. Louis, and Whitey obviously being one of them. But we got talking about the commissioner's role and what needs to happen there. And Whitey said in his mind it's a no-brainer. He felt Bill DeWitt, the Cardinals owner, should be considered as the next commissioner of Major League Baseball. There's a ground ball and a base hit through into right field as Taveras stops at second base. Look at the vote leaders of the National League All-Star Game. Molina, the second most votes in the National League, behind Troy Tulowitzki, who's running away with it. Blackman of Colorado, I think that's a bit surprising, but it shows that the fans are paying attention because he has had an all-star type season.
Or he's got a big family.
That too. Puig, Stanton, Arenado, Tulowitzki, Chase Utley, Adrian Gonzalez, and then Yadi behind the plate. And you can see the All-Star Game only on Fox.
You made the point about Whitey and what he thinks about Mr. DeWitt. I couldn't agree more with that. He has said that he's not interested, but that wouldn't stop me from asking him.
He's going to be on the committee apparently to help find the next commissioner. A pickoff down at second, and Taveras back in safely.
Garcia will be bunting here to try to advance 2 runners into scoring position, and part of the offensive theory here is with the pitcher hitting, the worst case scenario is hitting into a double play. So give up an out, advance a second guy, and leave it up to Matt Carpenter.
Garcia showing bunt and pushes it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. I love getting into baseball conversations too with Whitey and how the closer is used in the game of baseball, and he is adamant in the fact that you don't have to wait for the 9th inning to bring in your closer. And his point being that you could bring him in the 6th inning or 7th inning when the game's on the line. It may not be on the line in the 9th.
Part of the charm of Whitey Herzog when you're around him and know him and love him is you could ask him, what are the 3 things the San Diego Padres have to do right now? And you will get a very quick, very thoughtful answer.
Garcia puts it in play. Out at second and safe at first. And again, Escobar saving runs here tonight. He had a dazzling play in the 1st inning to rob Yadier Molina, and this time he takes a hit away from Jaime Garcia and was able to even get an out.
And you expected maybe the Royals to be moving in their middle infield, and the Cardinals don't get a break because Escobar stands still and is actually moving a little bit towards that shortstop hole, makes the play, and boy, the thing you really worry about almost happened, the double play. But that would have been some terrific double play if they could have turned that one. And credit to Taveras with hustling to 3rd base so Escobar didn't have the short quick out to get the lead runner there.
Now it's Matt Carpenter hitting .292 in this spot. Single to center. Back in the 1st inning. One ball, 1 strike. Cardinals looking to score a run, get anything going after being shut out in back-to-back games. That pitch taken high by Carpenter.
When Shields has had his trouble, he's made mistakes with his off-speed pitches. He almost made one there. He hung it too far for Carpenter to really be able to swing at it, and it just stayed up in the zone. But with both his changeup and his curveball, he's just made some mistakes, and he's paid for it.
Cardinals losing consecutive home shutouts by at least 6 runs back-to-back for the first time since 1937. So it's rare when you see what's happened here the last couple of games for the St. Louis Cardinals. 1937, but a chance here for Carpenter to do some damage. Ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Big gap in right center. And he walked him. Second time tonight, the Cardinals will have the bases loaded. The first walk issued by Shields. Inning started with a base hit to right by Taveras. Peralta lined out. John Jay a base hit to right field. Then was erased on the fielder's choice. A ground ball off the bat of Garcia. Walk to Carpenter brings in Colton Wong, who reached on an error by Hosmer.
What do you think Frankie Frisch's team meeting was like in 1937 after back-to-back shutouts? Team that eventually would finish 8 games over 500, 4th place in the National League?
Probably not much.
Cardinals that year, Dan, drew 443,000.
Cardinals this season are trending towards 3.5 million. Amazing numbers, over 40,000 for every game so far. 2 outs, bases loaded. The 0-1. And Wong hits a high fly ball out to deep right. Aoki back, grand slam! Colton Wong is first, and he does it with an exclamation point. Grand slam! Give it to him. Give it to him. They want the curtain call.
That is one happy young man right now.
Atta baby.
We talked about Shields making a mistake with a changeup just moments ago. That baseball, Sam Freeman has it now. Colton Wong will eventually have that in a very special place in his home for years to come.
The RBI total jumps to 15 for Colton Wong. Strike at the knees to Holiday.
The changeup from Shields up in the zone. He knew it.
First in the big leagues for Colton Wong. Hit 59 at bats last year. 9 for 59. He had 1 double. Scored 6 runs. And we saw Rick in spring training. He's got a little pop in that bat.
Oh, yeah.
And we just saw that moments ago. Distance of the home run, 402.
The walk to Carpenter, a real problem for Shields in this inning.
Now it's a walk to Holiday. So a little bit of a lack of control. He's fallen behind a lot of hitters, and as you mentioned, his off-speed stuff, he's not fooling anybody.
Well, you get behind and you have a pitch that maybe isn't working well. You really don't have as many weapons to go to, so then you're really too fine with your fastball, or you maybe try to throw too perfect an off-speed pitch and you end up making a mistake with it. It's so important to get that first pitch strike and then pitch off of that. And when he lost Carpenter, it just was a whole different game here for James Shields. But Wong certainly did his part. You can get a hanger and miss it, you know.
Now it's Alan Craig, who singled to left on an 0-2 pitch with 1 out back in the first. That loaded him up for Molina, who hit into an inning-ending double play, 6-4-3. Ground ball off the end of the bat, hit to second. Infante. Colton Wong, first home run in the big leagues. It's a grand slam into the Cardinals bullpen. One swing, 4-0 St. Louis.
score a 3-2 and a home run by the Wizard.
25,000 fans entering with a ticket receive a Jack Buck bobblehead. Voice chip in it, presented by First National Bank. That's Sunday, June 15th. That game will sell awfully fast with the Jack Buck bobblehead. Cardinals.com/promotions. Colton Wong with a grand slam moments ago. 4-0 Cardinals here in the top of the third. The shift is on for Mike Moustakas. Moustakas is hitting 152, 4 home runs, and 19 RBIs. And a ground ball, slowly hit, and taken there by Craig. Steps on the back for the out.
5 ground balls and 2 strikeouts for Jaime Garcia. That's exactly the kind of performance you'd hope for him. And he's got to keep doing the same thing. Forget the lead. Yes, that's nice. That was exciting, but he's got to just worry about his job, and that's getting these Royals out.
Alcides Escobar.
We saw that the Royals can score quickly. They did it here last night. They had a 3-run 7th, a 3-run 8th after Shelby Miller was cruising right along. So you just can't kind of put it in cruise control. You have to just keep pounding that zone and keep competing.
Shelby Miller outside of 1 inning. Very good outing last night. Escobar came over from Milwaukee in 2010. And he's made a couple of very fine plays at shortstop defensively. Saved a few runs.
We already saw Whitey Herzog at the ballpark today, who I'm sure is appreciating watching both Kansas City and St. Louis play. Has a heart for really both organizations. But also at the ballpark today, Willie McGee. Had a chance to visit with Willie, and Willie will be entering the Cardinals Hall of Fame this summer.
The fly ball out to center. Jay going back, makes the catch. Catch every strikeout, every game ender, every grand slam. MLB Whip Around, weeknights at 9 Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Not a bad seat in the house. Here's James Shields. What's Willie up to these days?
Well, Willie was here for an appearance with our friends at Ameren, Missouri, and had a chance to visit with him and interviewed him a little bit for the fans here this afternoon at an event. And Willie is enjoying his role as a coach for minor league guys. He just thinks that's just the most fun place to be. Willie actually had some time in between his appearances today, and he said, I want to come watch batting practice. So there he is with Jamie Pogue talking baseball, and he wanted to be here for batting practice. How about that? And Willie said to the crowd today that he's enjoying kind of helping the younger players learn how to steal bases and learn how to play the outfield, and just really getting a lot of joy in it. He lives out in California and loves his connection with the Cardinals. You can't go any place in St. Louis and find somebody that doesn't like Willie McGee.
Never heard a bad word about him.
Maybe the Midwest. I don't know. I mean, Willie is such a positive guy.
And that's a base hit into right for the pitcher, James Shields. The first hit tonight for Kansas City, and it comes from their pitcher.
I asked Willie a question today, Dan, and I'd be interested what you think his answer is. There's the dive by Alan Craig. I asked him, Willie, if you could come back today and you were going to feel younger and had the energy to do it, would you rather get a chance today to hit a home run down a ball in the gap and make a spectacular play, or steal a base? Which would be more exciting for you?
And he said, I'm going to take a guess, running play in the gap.
It's a good guess. His answer was, I'd rather hit the ball the other way and run out a triple.
Nobody ran out a triple better than number 51. So much fun to watch. For St. Louis, Colt Wong with a grand slam tonight. That's the difference in the game. Continue American League play, interleague play. Kansas City for 2, then in Toronto over the weekend. We'll wrap it up. The road trip, a couple of games against Tampa Bay. In terms of all-star balloting for the American League, no surprise to see Mike Trout ahead of the pack, and Derek Jeter could be his final, and will be his final all-star game, leading at shortstop. And regardless whether or not he is voted in, I would assume Major League Baseball would step in and say, you're a part of this.
Yeah, and I think he'll be voted in. I think there's enough fans that are going to be excited about seeing him one more time.
Yadier Molina grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. First 10 starts, 5 home runs allowed. Last 3, 6. And a big one in the second inning by Colt Wong. Began our telecast tonight with a feature on Yadier Molina that was put together by Chris Felt, Dan Hyatt. Really nice piece looking at Yadi through the last 10 years, and tonight 10-year anniversary of his major league debut, and a career that looks to be destined for the Hall of Fame. I don't think that's making an outrageous statement. I think that's fact. That season, 2004, just over 50 starts, but did make a couple of starts in the World Series against Boston. Everyday catcher of that season, of course, his manager, Mike Matheny. As Yadi hits it off the end of the bat, a fly ball into right. Aoki, former Brewer, puts it away. Some of the accomplishments here for Yadier Molina.
5-time All-Star, 6-time Gold Glover, and won the Silver Slugger Award in 2013, and of course a part of 2 World's Champions, which I think makes a difference when people start thinking about Hall of Fame. And you know, the more you think about Yadier Molina in the Hall of Fame, you think about Ozzie Smith. And I think in some ways similar players, where when they first came to the big leagues, you thought, I don't know about the offense with this guy, but man, can this guy play defense. And that was primarily how you thought of him for the first few years, and all of a sudden the offense kept getting better and better and better. Ozzie made himself into a good hitter, a really good hitter, and Yadier Molina's done the same thing.
Tonight for Molina, it start 1,193. As Taveras puts it in play, they had a shift on for him. The third baseman, a high throw, and save at first is Taveras. Moustakas moving to his left. Throw is high to Hosmer. And it's the second error committed by Kansas City in this game.
Surprising, Kansas City will make some errors. They'll make the great plays, but they make some errors, surprisingly. And Moustakas, normally very, very solid at third, just airmails this one, and Taveras ducks underneath it. And is he out or not? I think Ned Yost not very sure about this. One more look at it. Hosmer, as quickly as he can, even though he's going up, tries to get the tag down. And is he out or not? Very close.
So Ned Yost will challenge the call. If it is an error, it'll be the 4th on Mike Moustakas. And just going back to Yadier Molina while they review this for a moment, only Ted Simmons has had more starts than Molina in St. Louis, but he did have 2 additional years on Yadi so far. And if you go back the last 10 years, Rick, what's amazing is that the catcher ERA, first. Pickoffs, best with 43. Defensive runs saved over that time frame, 101, which is best. And he's caught an astounding 59% of base stealers. So it's been just a remarkable run for Yadier Molina.
And he's working harder and harder. We continue to wait on the call here, and I'm guessing this one may be overturned. I have a sense that maybe he did tag him right before the foot hit the bag. We'll see what the umpires in New York have to say about this. But I think the other thing you think about with Yadi, Dan, is he's keeping himself in such good shape maybe we've got Yadi for 5, 6 more years, and then those numbers are going to get even bigger and bigger.
He has caught over 10,400 innings since 2004. That's the second most in Major League Baseball in that time period. The most, if you're wondering, A.J. Pierzynski, who's now with the Boston Red Sox. They just showed the replay on the big board here at Busch Stadium, and you see Yadier Molina pictured there on your right. Tavares standing at the bag at first. And he is out. Ned Yost will have another challenge. And again, the throw up the line, and Hosmer with the tag.
I think he gets him right here on the back, just a split second before that left foot hits the bag. We had another view that showed it as well. I think that's the right call.
Here's Johnny Peralta with 2 outs.
Here's a view. He saw the tag there. It was close.
Time of the review is 2 minutes and 5 seconds, which has been right about at the league average now. One more look.
So it's really Hosmer's athleticism here to come down as quickly as he did. A little less obvious that time.
I don't know about you, but when I watch some of these replays, I'll say, well, first time, yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
And I look at another one, I say, no, he's not, he's safe. Then I go back and forth. It's very hard.
I wonder if they do that in New York.
To find it to be a distinctive look to say, yep, definitely either safe or out. I bet they feel that way in New York to an extent. As Peralta drives it into right center field, that ball will get down, and extra bases for the Cardinals shortstop. A 2-out double here at the bottom of the third. Standing up, it's Peralta.
And a judicious use of replay by Ned Yost may have saved a run right there. This ball is hammered by Peralta. Doesn't have a high average for the Cardinals yet, but he sure has a high percentage of extra base hits. Can generate some power, especially to the middle of the field.
Potentially, there could be 4 more runs on the board right now. You've had 2 really good plays by the shortstop Escobar. It could have saved 3 runs, and then, as you mentioned, the call is overturned, and that would have been another run. And here's John Jay. Now he is the 8th place hitter, which shields. Again, one of those things you talk about in baseball. If he falls behind here with 2 balls, no strikes, would they just elect to put him on and deal with Garcia, or go after him? That's line foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think there's enough balls being hit hard right now off of Shields. I think
put him on.
You would put him on, and you don't want to get into a big inning. You'd like for him to be able to start with the pitcher next inning, but you're also taking a chance. Some managers just never want to put an extra runner on base. I played for some managers that felt that, look, that's just one more guy running around we got to worry about. And I think Whitey was very, I'd say, smart about matchups in terms of when he would go with the intentional walk and when not. I think he just really hated walks in general. Didn't like pitchers on his team that walked guys, period. Felt like, look, we got guys who can catch the ball. And there was a lot of times where you get that little swirling finger move, which was a manager and the pitching coach's communication to a pitcher, and you'd actually kind of move your finger around in a circle. That would mean pitch around him. Be careful. Not telling you to walk them, but just be careful with it. And you had to trust your pitchers to be able to do that.
And I hear you and Al talk so much about fastball command. now more so than ever? Do you think it's a concern for managers to say, hey, let's pitch around a guy because of fastball command?
They're afraid they're going to miss.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not have the command, but they sure have the velocity. I mean, it's a whole nother level, 20% more in terms of the average velocity that you're dealing with now. And guys are certainly able to get more strikeouts with it and challenge people, and even miss in the middle of the plate more than you would have if you're throwing 86, 87 miles an hour. You can't make a mistake in the middle of the plate if you're doing that.
Two balls, two strikes.
Whitey is wearing, by the way, Dan, his alumni pass. I'm familiar with that pass. I have it in my bag, and wondering if Whitey really needs to be wearing that.
Probably not. I think most people know who he is, and he is welcome here. And Jay strikes out. First strikeout for James Shields. We head to the fourth. Cardinals on top.
Be a good player to go out there and have good at bats. You know, I feel like my at bats have been better. My results haven't been there. You know, but the only thing I can control is the type of at bat I have. You know, and go up there and have a good at bat, throw the numbers out the window, and when I'm in there, when my name's called, do whatever I can to help the team win that game that night.
Mark Ellis on the pregame show tonight with Jim Hayes. It's Infante, Hosmer, and Gordon. The Cardinals leading by the score of 4-0 and a grand slam by Colton Wong. Beautiful night for baseball here in the Gateway City. Along with Rick Horton, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Hayes, and our entire Fox Sports Midwest crew. Mark Ellis in a role in which he's coming off the bench now, especially with the emergence of Colton Wong, and Wong getting the majority of the playing time. Here's Omar Infante, who struck out swinging first time up. Garcia has allowed one base hit, and that was to James Shields, the pitcher. John Jay puts it away for the first out.
That young man is working that cotton candy. It's not done yet. I think people are surprised, Dan, as we heard from Mark Ellis. You know, at this level, players are able to hold two things together at the same time. One is, I want to play, I want to be the guy, I want to play every day, and I want to contribute. But they can also be a good teammate and root for each other at the same time. And I know that's hard for people to really understand. You think about, You know, when your kids are playing Little League and you're thinking, boy, I really wish that guy would strike out so my son could play. I mean, let's be honest. You're not like that at this level. You're rooting for each other, your teammates, and you know that eventually you're going to get your opportunity. And if you play well, you'll get your chances. And part of being a good teammate. But it's a tough thing to learn. A lot of guys learn it in the minor leagues. And if you don't learn it, you're not a good teammate. People will spot you in a hurry.
0-2 the count on Eric Hosmer.
I had a teammate, Dave Von Olin, in AAA, who came up to me, grabbed my shirt, actually physically grabbed my shirt and said, we're both left-handed pitchers. If we both do well, we'll go to the big leagues. If we both don't, they'll go get somebody else. So you and I are going to be partners. And it was the best advice I ever got in my life.
Garcia missed his spot, but it's pulled foul. With the money in the game today, and it is a part of it, whether you want to hear about it or not, it's jobs and it's millions of dollars potentially, so you can understand the individual infighting that potentially could happen.
And they rise above it.
0-2 is sliced the other way. Nice piece of hitting as Holiday cuts it off, and Eric Hosmer has the second base hit for Kansas City tonight. One out base hit by Hosmer as we take a look at what's on Rick Horton's radar.
We're going to talk about a couple of the teams the Cardinals are going to be facing on this road trip, and we're going to talk now about the Toronto Blue Jays. This is a team that can flat out rake. They lead the American League, actually all of baseball in home runs, and they've got some names that maybe folks aren't that familiar with. Adam Lind is hitting .357 for Toronto. Names you would know: Colby Rasmus, Edwin Encarnacion, second in the American League in home runs, but not far ahead of a teammate, Jose Bautista, who's been a home run machine. And Toronto is a very interesting club. I would say the best team in baseball right now overall. They have been on a hot streak. They lead the East, and they are not going to be easy for the Cardinals.
Alex Gordon at the plate. The 0-1 pitch. A broken bat, little floater, and a base hit. Past Carpenter. And Wong hustling over to third with both the third baseman and shortstop going after that baseball. And runners at first and second with one out, and it brings in Salvador Perez. You mentioned Will Myers in Tampa Bay. Well, he could be sidelined for more than 6 weeks, and it's a stress fracture. And you also talked about potentially the year. Now, you get into those wrist injuries, and that's nothing to look over and to say, well, he'll be back and healthy and no problem. Just go ask Mark Teixeira about that. And that was with a collision that he broke the wrist.
So it heals, but is it baseball ready?
You going to swing a bat? Now Salvador Perez. Chance to get the Royals back in this game, down by 4. Or to hit into a double play. Out at second, the turn by Wong, and it's a double play. AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer for 75 years. It's a live look at Cardinals Authentics. They have one at Ballpark Village and also one just beyond the center field wall here at Busch Stadium. Game used memorabilia, the jerseys, pictures, bats, balls, anything Cardinals related. Just head to CardinalsAuthentics.com. CardinalsAuthentics.com. Jaime Garcia will lead it off for the Cardinals. Underway here in the bottom of the fourth. Garcia, then Carpenter and Wong. Jaime with a base hit into right field.
Now I wish they would have walked John Jay.
Yeah. Keep the savings going this year at On the Run. Cardinals score 6. Get any size coffee, fountain, or frozen drink, just 50 cents the next day. It's all at your nearest On the Run. The top of the lineup, it's Matt Carpenter. Single to center. Then walked and scored in the second of the grand slam by Colton Wong. Will Myers, the last major leaguer to hit a grand slam for his first career home run, prior to Colton Wong. Third baseman well off the line and playing in. That's Moustakas, and strike one. Mentioned the pitchers of the month in both the American and National Leagues. And for the Cardinals, the minor league player of the month is in the major leagues. Randall Grichuk, who had 7 home runs in the month of May, and Chris Perry, who's a reliever at Class A Peoria. Shields makes the play. Advancing, it's Jaime Garcia to second base, and it brings in Colton Wong, who's been on base twice.
Sure, Matt Carpenter was trying for more than just a sacrifice there, but he is awarded a sacrifice bunt. I think he was thinking base hit first and foremost.
And I mentioned Rickon Moustakas was playing well off the line, so if he pushed that foot or two towards the third base line, would have been a very tough play for James Shields, and probably the only player to make that play.
Is an interesting angle for Moustakas, who's kind of in, as you mentioned, but off the line, as you also mentioned. And for him to get a bunt down the third base line from Colton Wong right now, he would have to come at an angle that would make it awful difficult for him to throw out Colton Wong. And again, maybe you try it again. Get Garcia to third.
2-0 the count. Colton Wong, average at 272 now with the 1 home run, and he's driven in 15. Cardinals with 7 base hits tonight off of James Shields. Royals pull off the deal to get James Shields, and you walk a fine line. You pick up a veteran. You're telling your fan base we're going for it. A franchise that we mentioned last night has had a lot of losing. As Wong hits a little flare that's caught, and it's a double play. Escobar to Infante for the double play. That sends us to the 5th. Wong's grand slam, the difference tonight. Cardinals with a lead. Colton Wong, the grand slam, 4-0. Top of 5 rolls in. And Jaime Garcia, very effective here tonight, Rick.
Yeah, he's been good. A lot of strikes from Garcia. Again, no walks. He is not allowed a walk now in 3 starts plus 4 innings, and showed the good sinker there to Hosmer. And Colton Wong helped him out on the offensive side. One swing of the bat. Cardinals have had trouble with offense, and they got instant offense right there. Holy grand slam, Batman. Superhero day at the ballpark.
Here's Lorenzo Cain.
Your favorite superhero that you've seen so far?
Here tonight?
Yeah.
Thought Wonder Woman had a very nice outfit on.
Thought that might be one of your answers?
I thought it was really well put together.
My favorite superhero at the ballpark that I've seen so far is Willie McGee.
That's your superhero. You set me up to say Wonder Woman, and you go with Willie.
That's what I do.
There's an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2 on Lorenzo Cain.
You should have seen that coming. You only have yourself to blame.
Cain hits a fly ball down the right field line and foul. Some of the superheroes have gone to great lengths with their outfits.
They have.
Yep.
They're in front of the ballpark.
2-2. Wait a minute. I'm on that big screen over there. Yeah. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Third strikeout for Jaime Garcia. The Cardinals get 9 hits tonight. They're on their way. They have 7. You're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. You'll receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. So you can stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal.
Shift on again for Moustakas. We've seen him pull the ball quite a bit in this series. And a good breaking pitch from Garcia. He'll have maybe a little variance on his breaking pitches, Dan, that I think helps make him effective. He'll throw a curveball that's more over the top, and he shows a little short slider, which is what he started out there, and that's the bigger curveball. And when you have 2 different breaking pitches, I think that often confuses a batter. You think you see something out of the hand, and it's just a little bit different.
Here's the 0-2. Ripped into right center field. Hung that one, and Moustakas is on his way to second base. He had a big double last night that scored 2. And this time on an 0-2 pitch, it's a 1-out double for Mike Moustakas.
Yeah, in both cases, balls up in the zone, and it was Shelby Miller last night in the 7th inning throwing a pitch a little bit like this, just up in the zone, and he just didn't miss it.
Now it's the 8th place hitter, Alcides Escobar, who's 3 for 14 against Jaime Garcia with 3 walks. Leads their club in stolen bases. He has 15. They have 2 players in double digits in steals. The Brewers have jumped out to a 1-0 lead against Minnesota. Ryan Braun with an RBI. Milwaukee, the best 58-game start in franchise history, and they have Gallardo going tonight. Here's a 1-0 pitch. The Cardinals start playing 5 games back in Milwaukee. They're at home tonight, by the way, against the Twins. And for the Kansas City Royals, they'll be playing catch-up, trying to figure out a way to get with Detroit. They are 6 games back of the Tigers. Good pitch, 2-1.
Garcia misses way high, way in, and then he paints with a changeup. Way out in front was Escobar.
The 2-1 hit into left center field. That will get the Royals on the board. Escobar will change spots with Moustakas. Back-to-back doubles, or could it be a triple on his way to third? In there. He can run. RBI triple, Alcides Escobar.
Escobar has been an exciting player in this series with what he has done with his glove, and here what he does with the bat and the legs. He's sensing triple right out of the box. He knows he's hit a gapper, and he does not let up a bit after rounding second. Good instincts there.
Shields at the plate. The infield is drawn in for St. Louis. We're in the 5th. It's now 4-1.
Garcia's starting to miss up this inning. He missed up with the breaking pitch, then fastball up, another fastball up, that pitch up. And we talk about this being a game of adjustments. He needs to make one right now. Get that sink back, stay back a little more, downhill, let his hands make the ball move, don't overthrow it, get that good sink action, get a ground ball.
Good tailing action on that pitch. James Shields picked up the first hit for Kansas City. Garcia had set down 8 straight to start this night. Then it was a base hit into right by Shields. In the dirt, blocked by Molina.
Indication there, throwing changeups to the pitcher Shields, that's a pitch he feels he has better control of right now than his fastball. And that's part of the adjustment that you make. Your catcher, Molina, has to make it along with you. And he has to see that, wow, there's something wrong with the sinker right now for Jaime. But boy, that changeup's still working.
Up and in.
I'm expecting changeup here, not fastball.
In the air, deep left. Holiday won't get to it. It's another extra base hit off of Garcia. And with that, it's now 4-2, and the Royals right back in this game. The first hit for James Shields this season. Second this season with his base hit first time up. Came in hitless into this ball game.
Breaking ball from Garcia, and this 2 up a little bit. Middle of the plate, and Shields, pretty good swing there.
So 2 for 2, and the tying run will come to the plate in Aoki, who is hitless. 0 for 2. Corners are in.
Up again with the fastball. Fastball's really eluding him this inning, and everything else is set up from that fastball, and that's the struggle right now for Jaime.
And that's a base hit for Aoki. Off the sidewall. Glove by Holiday. Throw to the plate is not in time. Aoki moves up to second base. He's in scoring position. It's now 4-3.
I think Holiday throws to the wrong base here, but I can understand why. It's the pitcher running. So he thinks he's going to have a chance at getting Shields, but Shields not only has shown he can handle the bat, he also really didn't have any trouble scoring on that, so the Cardinals allow another runner to get into scoring position. And really everything has been up this inning from Garcia, and he's just not finished a couple of pitches. We'll start with Moustakas. This is a breaking ball just sitting up out over the plate. That was a double. There's a fastball up middle of the plate. That's a triple. Again, the breaking pitch just sitting right in front of the plate for Shields. Fastball up this time, and when I say up, belled high up without the normal sink that you see from Jaime.
It all began on an 0-2 pitch to Moustakas. That double into right center. Escobar the triple, double by Shields, and now the double and RBI for Aoki. It's a 4-3 game. Here's Omar Infante, 0 for 2 tonight.
I think they're giving Aoki a single, and he went to second on the throw.
I could see it going either way with that. The ball that is hit down the third base line and then hits off the sidewall. He led the league, by the way, the National League a year ago in singles.
Cardinals had jumped out to the big lead, and very quickly they've got their tying run at second base. Infante, 361 in his career against the Cardinals. You look at some of those names, you recognize Altuve and what he's done, but you might miss Aoki and Gordon both. Fastballs all over the place right now for Jaime. Now, he hasn't walked the batter, Dan, but he has been off with the fastball, so he's not throwing it for strikes, and then the off-speed pitches are getting hit.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. 3-0. No activity yet in the Cardinals' pen. It unraveled quickly last night for Shelby Miller in that 7th inning. 5 of the last 8 that he saw picked up base hits. It started with the home run by Gordon.
He breezed through 6, didn't he?
Yes, he did. 3-1 on Infante. Workload by inning tonight. A hot, steamy night here in St. Louis. 24 pitches thus far in the 5th for Garcia. Fly ball out to center. Jay makes the catch. Aoki tags up from second to third. Another hard hit ball. Reminder that Fox Sports Midwest is joining with Cardinals Care to benefit reviving baseball in the inner cities. You can help by golfing in the Ted Savage RBI Golf Classic. That is June 10th at Forest Park. Alumni will be there. Ozzie, Lou, Whitey. Foursomes still available. Cardinals.com/RBI Golf. Hosmer is 1 for 2. He's singled to left field. Right down the middle for strike 1. No walks, 3 strikeouts, 7 hits allowed tonight by Garcia.
Best thing for Jaime would be to somehow get through this inning and then just sit down for a while. Regroup, focus on your warm-up tosses next inning, and try to get back to where you were last inning. I can see Yadi trying to coach him through pitch selection here. You're trying to figure out, okay, now what's going on here? He's hanging his breaking pitches. His fastball's flat, and he can't figure out the release point. The changeup's good, but I can't throw that every pitch. So how do we attack a hitter maybe differently than we would if everything was working?
Up and in.
And even Dan moving the fastball from one side of the plate to the other, Yachty setting up in here. The thought might be, well, maybe he'll get it right here with this location. Maybe it'll just kind of all come back into place. But he's just out of whack right now. Like a golfer that's off plane, and he's just kind of going back and forth trying to get it right.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Kansas City has gone through now 6 hitting coaches last 2 years. You start thinking about approach on a 2-1 pitch, and that's not what you want to see from anybody.
All 6 of them would have said that was a bad swing right there. That's not
my point.
That's not paying attention to the situation when you swing at that pitch.
And this one hits him on a pitch that went up and in. Got the back elbow, the left elbow, it looked like, of Hosmer. Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th will have Holiday, Craig, and Molina. Pitch count for Jaime Garcia is nearing 80. It's at 79.
Kind of a tense feeling here at the ballpark right now.
Best average with runners in scoring position, and Alex Gordon on that list. And he's up now with runners at 1st and 3rd. Good pitch there. Gordon grounded out. Ball that was slowly hit towards 2nd. Took a very good play by Wong, and then also single, 1 for 2. Base hit could tie it. Extra base hit may put him on top. Minnesota's come back. They're in the 2nd inning, 1-1 with Milwaukee. Eighth man to come to the plate for Kansas City here in the top of the 5th. Really took something off that pitch at 75 miles an hour. Now can he put him away? Get out of the inning.
This is the overhand curveball, middle of the plate, kind of just sits there and drops at the last minute. Good downward tilt there for Garcia.
The 1-2.
So what changes here, Dan, is you go from I have a plan on how to attack hitters to what do I think I can throw effectively, which is an entirely different way of attacking Alex Gordon right now. It's not about Alex Gordon. It's about what can I throw? What do I have most confidence in right now? And Molina's thinking the same thing. It's less about Gordon and more about Garcia right now.
And from what you've seen, what is that pitch? And secondly, what is he doing?
Well, it's not his fastball. He's pushing his fastball. He's getting underneath it, falling off the third base, and everything's kind of dropped with his elbow, and he needs to kind of get back to that arm slot on top, throwing downhill. The ball's not even sinking. It's actually running across the plate right now. You feel your hand coming underneath the ball instead of fingers on top.
In the air. Deep right. This is trouble, and the Royals go on top. Alex Gordon, 3-run homer. 6-4 Kansas City. He did it last night. He does it again here in game number 2. Wow. Wow.
What a turn here in this inning. Again, the breaking ball sits middle in, and Gordon doesn't miss it. A team that does not hit very many home runs just put a damper on the Cardinal evening so far.
They came in last in home runs. This is Salvador Perez. Slowly hit to the right side. Craig will take it himself, tags out Perez. Kansas City puts up a 6 spot, highlighted by Gordon. A 3-run homer. His 6th this year. 6-4 Kansas City. June 16th. These are part of the theme nights. They have special theme tickets. They're on sale now. You'll get a limited edition Cardinals bow tie, and you can get those theme tickets only at cardinals.com/theme. It's also a special night because John Mozeliak will meet with the group. Q&A session. He's always very candid in those. That's coming up on the 16th of June. 5 hits in the inning. 4 went for extra base hits and a 3-run homer by Alex Gordon. Here's Holiday. Takes a pitch low. Garcia threw 38 pitches in the top of the 5th. And all of a sudden, James Shields, who has not been sharp tonight, has a lead.
And Cardinal fans who are enjoying a early Cardinal lead and kind of trying to get rid of that feeling of frustration that I think has been kind of hanging over Busch Stadium for the last week or so, and that good feeling was pretty short-lived. About 3 innings long, and a frustrating inning, I know, for Jaime Garcia. Just couldn't get his release point, couldn't get his feel. It happens, and it's tough to figure out.
3rd walk issued by James Shields, who's just been given a 2-run lead. Let's go back to Rick's radar. What's on your radar now?
Well, we talked about the Toronto Blue Jays. The Cardinals are also going to be playing the Tampa Bay team on this road trip, and some names you would know and many names you wouldn't know. Matt Joyce, James Loney, Bed, and Zobrist, some of their best players, along with Evan Longoria, who's really their marquee player. You mentioned Will Myers, Rookie of the Year a year ago, is out with a right wrist issue, and Tampa Bay is off to a awful start. They've actually got the worst record in the American League, surprisingly. I wouldn't count them out right now, but they are actually 1 win shy of what the Houston Astros have. So a bit surprising.
Here's Alan Craig, who is 1 for 2. Base hit to left and also grounded out to second. Very hot night here in St. Louis. Muggy. And an uncomfortable looking Jaime Garcia. The top of the 5th. The ball that got away that hit Hosmer. Went back, looked at his hand. You could see the perspiration on his hat, jersey. He's been reaching for the dirt a number of times. Part of the elements. There's a 1-1. And Craig gets it out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the big board here, as the players are introduced, they are in superhero outfits. What is that, menacing or what?
I would think if you have the superhero outfit, you shouldn't be smiling, though. You should be looking menacing, and/or I'm getting ready to save the world. That should be your
one or the other.
Yeah,
no question about it.
It's an important job.
Unfortunately for the players, they probably didn't realize that they'd be superimposed as superheroes, so it's taken off a normal photo in which Alan Craig looks very happy.
Thank you for explaining that.
That's why I'm here. 2-2, hit to the left side. That ball came up on Moustakas. The defense has let down James Shields a bit tonight.
Well, this game's got a lot left. There's no question about it. The Royals and Cardinals both having some sloppy moments here tonight, and another one for Kansas City. We rant and we rave about the defense for Kansas City, and as hard as it is to explain how Jaime Garcia can be going along just fine and then have a bad inning, hard to explain how Moustakas can boot that ball.
Close to being his 2nd error tonight. If not for review, it would have been. You see what both teams have done with runners in scoring position. Molina came up with the bases loaded in the 1st and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. And Rick, you alluded to it. The Cardinals have had many opportunities tonight. The first that came was Yadier up, bases loaded, only one out. St. Louis has hit into 2 double plays tonight. Chopped left side. Runners advance to second and third. Oscar Taveras singled and scored back in the second. And the play that I just mentioned, the reviewable play, that involved Taveras running up the line at first, trying to beat out a base hit. We head west tonight after the game to Kansas City. What's on tap? Wainwright and Vargas. Adam 8-3, Vargas 5-2. Budweiser, what's on tap? And Adam coming off a tough start against San Francisco.
Yeah, and he wants to put that behind him and kind of get back in his winning ways. He typically does. Not very often do you see him with 2 bad starts in a row.
Base hit could tie it up. The next 2, Oscar hit out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I will say with Taveras at the plate, and he's off to an okay start. He's had, of course, his big moment, hitting .250 in small sample size, but you really feel confident with him at the plate. Feel like something good's going to happen.
Absolutely. Here's a 1-1. Taveras hits a fly ball down the right field line. Aoki is over, makes the catch. Runners will tag up. And Taveras makes it a 6-5 Kansas City lead. His second RBI this season.
Aoki had to make a decision down in that right field corner. Do you catch it or not? I think he does the right thing. He catches it. Sometimes you just got to take the out. It's a foul ball, but you know it's going to be a run. And you know that nice young lady's not going to get the ball because you catch it over top of her head. You have to deal with all that, Dan.
Battle the elements, Rick. And Peralta pops it foul. We saw a play as Seth Maness begins to throw in the Cardinals pen. We saw a play with Matt Holliday late in a game, tied up, realizing that if he made the catch, runner tags up in extra innings and would score. Really a heads-up play to let it drop. As Peralta hits it sharply past Moustakas, and this game is tied. On his way to second. Looked to be touched by a fan, and Johnny Peralta picks up the RBI, his second hit tonight, RBI number 25.
We'll see how this is ruled. This ball just inside the bag. Another bad pitch up in the zone. Moustakas can't get a glove on it. He's playing off the line. Really kind of had an odd jump at that ball too. And then it gets by Gordon in left field. So really just a awkward couple of innings here for both ball clubs.
Initially I thought it may have been touched by a fan as Jay hits a fly ball out to left. Gordon makes the catch. Peralta stranded. Cardinals have left 5 on, but they tie it up 6-6 after 5. 5-hour energy, helping recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. And find a helpful servicing steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. Seth Maness replacing Jaime Garcia, who was cruising until the 5th. 22nd appearance in our Chevy call to the pen. 16 strikeouts in 24 2/3 innings. What has turned into be kind of a crazy game. Sloppy. And that was a base hit for Peralta, then an error on Gordon. So Kansas City has committed 3 errors tonight.
3 straight Gold Gloves for Alex Gordon, and he lets the ball go right underneath his glove and between his legs. It's just indicative of what kind of game this is.
Lorenzo Cain. Peter Borges takes over in center field. It's a double switch.
That'll mean Borges will lead off for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 6th inning. He'll hit in the pitcher's spot.
Maness stays with it, and he makes the play.
Is there something slippery on the baseball today?
Wow. By the way, that's the 31st double switch for Mike Matheny this year. Next closest is either 21 or 22.
This one, to me, makes an awful lot of sense, because what you're doing is you're replacing the last batter that made the out, and you're getting yourself an extra 8 spots before you have to deal with your pitcher again, and you're bringing in a pitcher that you want to throw multiple innings. I think that is the classic time to use a double switch.
Here's a ground ball, Moustakas, and it rolls foul. The key there, I guess, Rick, is the multiple innings that you're talking about that you want to get out of Seth Maness tonight.
Yeah, and you're allowing Borges to hit in the pitcher's spot, and now with Seth Maness in the 8th spot, you don't really even have to make that decision for a while.
Now on the video board here, they have Borges in the 8th spot. There's a ground ball pulled foul, and then now they've just turned it.
That would have to be wrong.
Yeah, they just turned it.
They were listening to you. Boy, you've got some pull.
If I did, there'd be some changes around here.
Oh boy.
There's a lefty, Tim Collins. They have 2 lefties in their pen. Moustakas skies one into right center. Borges makes the catch. 2 down.
I hope those superheroes stay around. We may need one of them before this night is through.
Boy, it turned south quickly on Jaime Garcia. And I'll go back to it, Rick, where Garcia begins the inning with a strikeout of Lorenzo Cain in the 5th. He's got Moustakas at 0-2 as Escobar shows bunt, takes a ball. So an 0-2 pitch belted into right center. Escobar the triple. James Shields the pitcher a double. Aoki a single. Then the line out, and then with 2 strikes he hits Hosmer on the elbow, and then the 3-run shot by Gordon.
But Dan, all of those were the result of the fact that he was just off, and something happened.
There's a fly ball out to deep left. Holiday with just enough room.
And we'll talk about that, but Jaime just lost it. Fortunately, the Cardinals got those 2 runs back at the bottom of the 5th, and we still have a game.
Borges, Carpenter, Wong due up. D app for great deals sent directly right to you to your smartphone right now. Get a free large sandwich with any purchase just for downloading. Cardinals feature at Ballpark Village every Sunday. Non-home dates. The Sunday brunch at Cardinals Nation. 10 to 2. They're taking reservations. 345-9880. 345-9880. So anytime the Cardinals are not in town, go get your eggs, bacon, whatever you need over at Cardinals Nation. 10 to 2 on Sundays. Vicki Bryant, her gang will treat you right.
Fun place.
Absolutely. Peter Borges leads it off, and then Carpenter and Wong. Borges part of the double switch. First plate appearance tonight. Showing bunt and takes a ball from Shields, who has to be as frustrated as anybody tonight. You know, he's had a lot of help defensively. Could have been worse early on. Gave up the grand slam. Then his team comes back and gives him the lead of 2 runs. And the next inning, bottom of 5, he walks the leadoff man.
But then he had the error by Moustakas. He really should have been out of that inning. The Cardinals got 2 runs on just 1 hit.
Peter Borges, left field. Cardinals back on top. He launched that baby. 7-6 St. Louis.
James Shields talking to himself over that delivery. And the Cardinals bouncing back on top again. This has not been a pretty game, but that was fun to watch.
Second home run for Peter Borges this season. And it brings in Matt Carpenter. On base twice with a single and a walk. They have had activity in the pen for Kansas City. The lefty was up. Tim Collins, and now the right-hander. This was a no-doubter.
I talked about in that 5th inning that Jaime Garcia just lost the feel of the baseball, and the ball was really all over the place in the zone. But Shields has been pretty much that way throughout this game. He has not been sharp either.
That home run measured at 422 feet. The Cardinals have the lead again, 7-6. As Matt Carpenter looks at a strike to even it up at 2-2. The hard-throwing right-hander, former Mizzou product, Aaron Crow. Just missed inside. Just looking at the body language of James Shields when he receives the ball back. He had his face inside his glove, screaming after the home run by Borges. He is upset at himself tonight. And now he walks Carpenter, and that may be it for him. The 4th walk by Shields tonight.
Like Yost might give him one more batter. Either that or he send out Perez to have the stall conversation. You're coming out, but we got to talk for a minute. Into our gloves. He's thinking about it. I'm not sure he's sure which way to go right here. Shields just doesn't look right either. And then you realize if you take your starter out, you're committing an awful lot of innings to your bullpen. Classic manager dilemma.
Now Colton Wong, who has reached on an air, hit a grand slam back in the second inning and lined into a double play. Runner at first is Matt Carpenter. Still nobody out, and Wong bunting, bunts it foul. Colton Wong, many major leaguers have done it. First home run is a grand slam, and the second baseman to do that, well, it's an interesting list, but in general, you've got Chris Carpenter, you've got pitchers on that list:
Jake Westbrook, Kent Mercker,
Donovan Osborne, and your buddy Willie McGee. The last second baseman to do it for the Cardinals prior to Wong, Descalso. He did that last year against San Diego. Skip Schumacher, Felipe Lopez, one of Rick's favorites for a number of seasons, Aaron Miles, and Bo Hart. There's a 1-1 pitch. Taken low and outside.
The list that included the pitchers we mentioned was a list of Cardinals who had a grand slam for their first career major league home run. I remember Westbrook's, Carpenter's. Don't remember Kent Merker's.
Shields, by the way, is at 95 pitches tonight. There goes Carpenter. He's running, and Wong hits it sharply to Moustakas, who makes the play. Start the runner, avoid the double play. Brings in Holiday, who has walked twice and also lined out. Crow is coming in. Double switch coming up. Well, with one swing tonight, Peter Borges has given the Cardinals a lead. His second home run. From Topeka, Kansas, 27-year-old. He was a 12th pick of the 2009 draft as he was selected in the first round. And now in his fourth season in the bullpen for Kansas City. Hard thrower. There was some talk at one point in his career that he'd be a closer. And pretty good numbers. 2-1, 2.92 ERA. You see what lefties and righties have done against him. Our Chevy called to the pen, and as part of a double switch as Dyson speedster, takes over in center field for Kane.
Crow pitched a scoreless ninth here last night and got Matt Holliday to hit into that double play, and important outs for him here in the 6th inning.
Holliday with 3 home runs, and the last coming on the 27th of May against the Yankees. It's sharply to second. Fielded by Infante. And advancing on the play, it's Matt Carpenter to third.
You know, Dan, we were talking about double switches, and what Ned Yost did here is he also had his pitcher leading off the next inning, so he chose to do a double switch. So what you do is you back up the order and think, well, who can I take out that hits above the pitcher's spot so I can buy some time? And he chose Kane, the center fielder, and that's where the pitcher will be batting, in that 6th spot. But Kane, a pretty good player. And what he didn't want to do is double switch out Escobar, who's so important defensively, or Moustakas, who's been pretty good with the bat in this series.
Craig on the first pitch, pops it foul.
Sometimes those double switches are obvious, sometimes they're not.
Two outs, runner at third, big gap in left center for Alan Craig. Singled on an 0-2 pitch to left, grounded out to second, and reached on an error by Moustakas and scored in the 5th. 0-2. University of Missouri has really turned out to be an outstanding baseball program. Max Scherzer from there, Ian Kinsler. I can't forget our buddy Norm Stewart, who played on a national championship team for the Missouri Tigers baseball team.
I didn't know that.
Craig with a fly ball out to deep right center, and that'll stay in the ballpark. Catch made by Dyson, and he'll lead it off when we come back. Lorenzo Cain. What, me? You're double switching me? Oh, man. I want to stay in this game. Dyson in, Cain out. Cardinals back on top. Cardinals game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv, game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store. Visit Cardinals.com today. Sam Freeman is into the ball game in our Chevy call to the pen.
I think part of the reason is a lot of left-handers due up this inning for Kansas City. Dyson in the game now as part of the double switch, hits from the left side. And he's now in the 9th spot, but then you've got Aoki and Hosmer, Gordon at the top of the lineup with Infante in the middle, so it makes sense for the Cardinals to go to their left-hander in the 7th.
Dyson has speed. He was 1 for 1 with an infield hit last night. He has 10 stolen bases this year. And he's the only player right now in the major leagues with 10 steals in fewer than 100 plate appearances. Part of the double switch. And the 0-1 from Sam Freeman. Strike 2. Are you calm, Rick? Are you calm?
I'm afraid there's going to be a scoring change.
I have one. Most infield hits, 60 for Kansas City. After listening to you last night, I just want to make sure you can handle this. As Dyson hits it to Carpenter, quickly over to first and got him by a step. Johnny Peralta's single now changed to a double, no error on the left fielder, Alex Gordon. Do me a favor, a couple of deep breaths and take off the headset and excuse yourself for a good 5-minute period, a cooling off period, if you will.
Well, let me start out by saying good for Johnny Peralta. Can I say that?
Absolutely.
And I might say that there's a possibility, I don't want to go too far with this, that I actually understand that particular change because the ball was deep into the corner. Now, the play by Gordon wasn't very good, but would Peralta have had a double anyway? It's debatable. So my blood pressure's fine, but thanks for asking.
1 ball, 1 strike on Aoki. You're getting flush. Get this man a water, please. We get him a water.
Oh boy.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Aoki. Taken low and outside. So what it does now is that the Royals have committed 2 errors tonight, and Gordon is back to no errors this season. The 2-1 pitch, Aoki peeked down at first and swinging away. We have noticed, and you talked about it earlier, you talked about it last night, when he takes that peek, Rick, he does it late, very late.
Yeah,
when the pitcher's in the windup.
I mean, it's one thing to check it out, but you know it's hard to hit a major league fastball, especially with Freeman throwing it at 95.
Not afraid to bunt with 2 strikes. He tried it last night and showing bunt there and looks at a ball. The 3-2 pitch. Not what he wanted to do. 1-out walk. First walk Cardinals have issued to Kansas City. 10 years ago he made his debut, and since June 3rd of 2004, we mentioned these numbers earlier, but remarkable. He is our BJC Healthcare difference maker, Yadier Molina.
Most, best, and second, all pretty good. You mentioned Przinsky, the only one who's caught more innings in that time frame.
One out, runner at first. Keep an eye on Aoki. He is 7 for 10 in stolen bases. We are in the 7th. 7-6 St. Louis. 1 out, runner at first. Omar Infante has struck out swinging, fly to center, and lined out to center. Outside. The biggest issue, and I've mentioned it before, with Sam Freeman has been control inside the strike zone. Not walking anybody. Righties only hitting 160. The lefties 250. He's got the live arm. Continuing to work on his off-speed pitches. He has ditched the knuckle curve. He was telling me the other day that was something that he worked at the beginning of last season in spring training, but never felt comfortable. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Hit and run possibility here. Mike Matheny thinking about that, gives a throw over sign. You know, I've got a kind of a thought about that. Modern day baseball, I think we got to stop blaming pitchers for not holding runners well. I think we have to start blaming managers. And I'm not talking about Matheny in this case, but in general, the managers are the ones telling you when to throw over most of the time. They've taken that out of the pitcher's hand. I had a long discussion with Tony La Russa about that years ago. He said, we just feel like we have to control that. We can't trust pitchers to do it anymore. I thought, well, teach them young how to hold runners, and maybe they'll be better at it.
Aoki leaning towards second. Freeman saw that. Cardinals have Pat Neshek throwing in the pen. You were very, very good at holding runners on. One of the best pickoffs when you were playing. Haven't seen Freeman's move all that much. It's more of just throw it over and to show it.
A little better than I remember it a year ago. He's at least trying to vary his times, and that's as much to it. You talk to any base stealer, elite base stealer of whatever era, and you ask them what's the worst thing you can do, and the answer is hold the baseball. If you hold it, they get antsy and they get a little stiff, and they're not quite sure when to go. They get locked up, I guess is a better word. And you lock them up and they don't get that first good step off.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Big happy birthday to Sean McLaughlin and Jane McLaughlin. My mom turned 27. Very excited for her.
Terrific.
So happy birthday.
Outstanding.
The 2-2. Got him. Strikeout of Infante, and it brings in Hosmer.
There's the changeup grip, kind of a split grip there from Freeman. Infante was way out in front a couple of times on Garcia. Now he is on Freeman as well.
And there's a strike to Eric Hosmer. Hosmer, a struck out, single to left, and then with 2 strikes was hit by a pitch from Jaime Garcia in the 5th. With 2 runners on, the next batter, Alex Gordon, with a home run. At that point, put Kansas City on top 6-4. Cardinals tied it up in the bottom of the 5th. Took the lead on a Borges home run. And that's strike 2.
Royals with their lefties stacked top of the lineup. Mike Matheny can stay with Sam Freeman for this whole inning here. Be right-handers next inning. So this should be it for Freeman. He'll have a good night if he gets his man right here.
The check again on Aoki. Cardinals have Molina, Taveras, Peralta coming up. Freeman trying to make sure it stays a 1-run St. Louis lead. A hot night here in the Gateway City. The 0-2. Hosmer breaks his bat, and Craig avoids the bat, makes the play. Time to stretch. Good work, Sam Freeman. 7-6 here at Busch Stadium. Seventh. The Cardinals leading 7-6. Shields and Garcia roughed up in this game. Alex scored the big 3-run shot. And Colton Wong, a grand slam. His first home run in the big leagues. It's a grand slam. Takes us to our Chevy call to the pen.
Wilking Rodriguez is a player that the Royals signed as a minor league free agent. He had shoulder surgery, in 2010. He was with the Rays and never really played above A ball. And there's a guy that played the minor leagues for 6 years, Dan, actually 7. And he's just 24 years of age. He's from Venezuela. And Kansas City signs him as a minor league free agent. And now he's in the big leagues all of a sudden, making his major league debut.
What a moment this must be for him. Major league debut. And he'll face Yadier Molina. Molina, Taveras, and Peralta due up for St. Louis. 7-6. Peter Borges home run in the 6th inning. A solo shot over the bullpen and left to give the Cardinals a 1-run lead.
One of the scouts for the Royals is a friend of ours. We see him in Pittsburgh all the time. Tim Conroy is one of their special assistants, and he had been a scout, longtime scout with the Atlanta Braves, and just became really an important executive here with the Royals. And you wonder if he's the guy that saw this guy. But whoever the scout was, can you imagine that conversation? hey, I saw this guy pitched 8 games in A-ball, and I like what I see, so maybe he'll be on our team next year. And you know, they're not going to re-sign him. And he, by the way, he had shoulder surgery, but let's take a flyer on him.
That's how good organizations, though, sometimes do it, Rick. As you well know, you've got to have the depth, your scouting system, to find guys that are the hidden treasures, so to speak, and have an ability to see a body that can mature. As Molina pops it up, Omar Infante, one away, and a little luck along the way, too.
Pitch well at the right time.
The 15th sellout tonight, 41,192. 4-1, 192. Molina 0 for 4. Brings in Oscar Taveras. A base hit into right. Scored a run. And picked up an RBI in the 5th. His second this year.
Dan, you remember the nickname that Al Roboski gave Seth Maness last year? Early in his appearances, he was picking up victories by coming in.
The Vulture.
Absolutely. Maybe he's trying to do that again here tonight. Pitched the right inning, didn't he? Came in and had a scoreless 6th. The Cardinals score a run in the bottom of the 6th. He's on the winning side of this game if it stays as is.
And Taveras hits it off the end of the bat. That'll carry out to the center fielder that was part of the double switch, and that's Dyson. Well, Carlos Martinez, and you had been talking about this for a good 3 or 4 weeks, how Martinez maybe evolves into your long man, and with the way that Neshek has pitched, he turns into your setup man, and it looks like that's the way that things are going.
Yeah, sometimes you look past even the numbers or the velocity or the ability, and you just kind of look on their at their face. And I think we saw that with Colton Wong. He needed a change early in the season, made the change, and it helped him. But when we looked at Carlos pitching about 2 or 3 weeks ago, he just seemed lost, and he didn't seem confident, didn't have his swagger. And the thought might be that, you know, you get him into less high leverage situations, maybe he builds that up again. You know, if you don't have your swagger on the mound and the hitter sees that, you're dead. You got no chance.
Struggling with left-handed hitters, and his slider has not been as sharp as we saw it in spring or even at the end of last season. The ups and downs of young players in this game. I don't think there's anybody doubting his talent and the fact that he has a big role on this team.
And that's the good thing. And you don't give up on him. You don't give up on 100. There's the numbers you're talking about.
Yeah, the lefty's right there.
And partially because his slider and his changeup have been off.
The 2-1. Peralta with a high fly ball out to deep center. Dyson is back at the wall and makes the catch. Peralta gave it a ride. Looking for his 3rd hit tonight. 7-6. And a Bomberito Sports Update with Pat Barris. Pat. Pat, thanks. We wondered about at the time Ryan Hannigan and thinking that, well, that's a pretty good player. Well, Devin Mesoraco has turned into an outstanding player.
Got that home run swing for that ballpark, doesn't he?
He sure does. Here's Alex Gordon. He'll lead it off, and we are in the 8th inning. 7-6. Freeman still in the game. Gordon with a 3-run homer in the 5th and a single in the 4th. You would have to think
one batter.
Yeah, one batter to face Gordon, and we'll see if Neshek comes in to face the right-handers.
At least at this point, you have a lot of confidence in Pat Neshek. Early in the game, late in the game, whenever.
1 ball, 1 strike. The board here at the ballpark has 2 balls and 1 strike. That count is correct. There was some confusion down on the field. Some of the players you could see asking about it. And that's at the knees. Evens it up at 2-2.
Perfect pitch here. Catching the bottom of the zone. I like the downward movement that Sam Freeman has developed.
Got him, and a strikeout of Alex Gordon. Good work by Sam Freeman here tonight. Mike Matheny pops out of the dugout, and it looks like he'll go to his bullpen. Pair of strikeouts for Sam Freeman. The righty Neshek is loose and ready to roll. Big strikeout. He gets Alex Gordon. Here comes Neshek, and the Cardinals have a lead of 7-6, and you're watching Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Nice work from the lefty. June 14th, the pet blanket presented by Purina. Cardinals.com/promotions. Salvador Perez and then Billy Butler on deck, and they'll face Pat Neshek. Chevy called to the pen.
Dan,
what a year he has had.
Yeah, and Dan, good against lefties and righties, and he's been able to neutralize them. He's been using more of a variety of pitches too. He was a slider pitcher a year ago. Has used his fastball and more changeups lately.
He's mentioned so much about the fastball coming back. I think to an extent he has probably surprised himself a little bit with just how well he has pitched. There's a base hit by Salvador Perez, a 1-out hit. The tying run is on. The go-ahead run will come to the plate. And when right, and when he's in a groove, watch out. It's Billy Butler who serves as their DH normally.
Not much time to react when you're on the mound and somebody squares one up. You're moving your glove. The ball's already past you. And you know they sizzle, Dan. I'm not sure you've ever had that experience when on the mound. Maybe one of your kids hits a line drive right at you and it sizzles.
Had a few of those.
I know you have.
One out and a runner at first.
Butler's power has been off this year. He's been more of a singles guy than he has in the past. Still a dangerous hitter.
Pinch hitter. He does have one home run. I believe that was against St. Louis and Jason Mott. Wound up being the longest game of the season. Went into extra innings. Ground ball to the right side. Wong ranging to his left. Sliding. Throwing. Oh, he just couldn't get him. And let's hope that Colton Wong is okay. Chris Conroy, the Cardinals medical team, is out to make sure he's all right.
I wonder whether he jammed his left arm, Dan, diving for that ball. Had the presence of mind to throw the ball from the ground after stopping it. There's the play, the throw, and Butler's able to beat it. But what an effort by Colton Wong. There's the dive. And something with his shoulder, elbow. Almost as if he felt it in both places.
So a single up the middle by Perez. Billy Butler an infield hit. And now Mike Moustakas and a chance to do some damage here as Guthrie, a pitcher, is your pinch runner. Moustakas with a big RBI double late last night.
Appears that Colton Wong, Dan, by the way, is okay, but is he stretching his arm there at second base? Players talk about nagging injuries. You hear that word all the time that affect their play down the road. And boy, I'm just not quite right. That's how they happen.
He keeps stretching. Just watching him. There it is. Trying to stay loose with the arm. 2 balls and no strikes on Moustakas. It's been a thrilling night for Colton Wong. First home run in the big leagues, a grand slam. Big pitch here on 2-0. Popped up. Wong. Infield fly. Makes the catch.
Two 2-0 count, and Neshek said, well, I'm going to have to throw a strike, so here, hit it. And it's right down central. And Moustakas has been getting a lot of pitches to hit in this series, Dan. He had another one there and just got underneath it.
Here's Alcides Escobar. Fly to center. He's flied to left. And an RBI triple and a run scored. Part of that big 5th inning. 6 runs put up by Kansas City. That pitch is nasty. Outfield straightaway, not very deep. Tying run at second base. Go ahead run at first. And an 0-1 pitch. The 1-1, little flare out to right center, and it drops in for a hit. Game is tied. Wong's throw to third, not in time. Escobar has tied it up. 7-7.
A bad break there for Pat Neshek. Off the end of the bat, perfectly placed. Escobar just flares it. So 2 of the 3 hits in this inning, Dan, have not been hit hard. Just out of the reach of Wong. Another good effort. Been one of those games.
Now it's Dyson with runners at the corners. 7-7. And he takes a ball. Dyson, his first time up, part of a double switch, batted in the 7th against Sam Freeman and grounded out to third. Outfield very shallow. Inning started with a strikeout of Alex Gordon. That was by Sam Freeman. Neshek came in. Comebacker. Line shot back up the box by Perez. Then Billy Butler, the infield hit. Moustakas popped out. And Escobar, a little flare into shallow center to tie it up. The 2-0. Fly ball. Peter Borges into left center. Royals strand 2, but they pick up an RBI base hit. 7-7 as we head to the home half of the 8th. Authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Colton Wong, a grand slam to put the Cardinals on top 4-0. They trailed in 6-4. Peter Borges, after the Cardinals tied it, made it 7-6 with a home run. And moments ago, the Royals have tied it up at 7-7.
A lot of ways, Dan, this has been a sloppy game. It hasn't been well played in certain parts, and we've seen some exciting moments, including Colton Wong's grand slam, but when you play a game like this, you have to find a way to win it. It's one thing to play a sloppy game and lose it. You cannot let that happen, especially when playing at home. Davis has big numbers. Our Chevy call to the bullpen. He has a big arm. He's their 8th inning guy. We saw him here last night. He's tough.
Moved from being a starter to the bullpen, and he has found a home.
That's a problem with giving up the lead to the Royals. You work into their strength because their last few innings are just lights out with Davis and Holland.
This is Daniel Descalso.
Some say Holland's the best closer in the American League.
That's it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That run, Dan, off of Pat Neshek breaks his scoreless streak of 20+ innings without giving up a run.
Ground ball that's hit to the right side. 1 away. It brings in Peter Borges. A home run, and a long home run at that. Back in the 6th inning over the bullpen of the Kansas City Royals in left field. One out, nobody on. The pitch to Borges. The check swing and a strike. Big crowd tonight, 41,000 plus. Nothing at 2.
Haven't gotten any help from our superheroes yet.
We certainly have not.
Where's the bat phone?
One and 2. Here's a 1-2 and a strikeout of Peter Borges. 2 outs.
Wow, tough to hit there. That's the perfect kind of pitch, Dan, that is starting out at a corner and then moving away from the head of the bat, and you just can't lay off it and you can't hit it.
Two outs. Matt Carpenter. Carpenter has been on base 3 times, 2 walks. He's now up to 32 walks to lead the club. And he singled to center field. One ball and 1 strike. That pitch at 96. You talk about guys that have been starters and moved to the bullpen. They don't save up for innings 3 and 4. They let it loose. Remember when Lance Lynn was in the bullpen, how effective he was?
I think he refound his stuff when he did that.
Played a vital role for the Cardinals in the 2011 championship run, and that bullpen that really came together. Arthur Rhodes, Mark Zepchinski, Lynn, Jason Mott. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Carpenter. That's a strike.
Hard to win in October without a hot bullpen. We've seen that over the years. And it's going to be hard to win today without a hot bullpen. Cardinals still have Mott, Rosenthal, Martinez from the right side. And you're going to have to start thinking about how you hand out innings from here. And you can't start thinking about that. If you're Mike Matheny, you have to have already thought that through.
The 2-2. Carpenter up the middle and a base hit. On base for the 4th time tonight. Pair of hits, both up the middle, and a pair of walks.
Average creeping up for Matt Carpenter, close to where he was a year ago. And you wonder why Davis didn't think about throwing a glove down there. It's almost like he was more interested in getting out of the way of it, and I can't blame him for that. Looks like the glove was tied up. Do I go around the backside? Too late. Now I get it. He was closed off a bit. Couldn't really turn that direction. Can Colton Wong be a hero again?
You wonder about his swing with the shoulder. Diving attempt on a ground ball. Has been shaking it out ever since. The elbow, the arm. Is it the shoulder? There's ball 1. It was the left shoulder. A grand slam back in the 2nd inning. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One big hit. Maybe the Cardinals don't have to hit again.
One ball, 1 strike. We'll be at Kauffman Stadium tomorrow night in Kansas City. Begin a road trip. Game 3 of this series. Carpenter leaning, almost fell down as Wong grounds out to second. Taken there by Infante. And we'll head to the 9th. All tied up in game 2 of this series. It's 7-7. Top of the ninth. 21 hits combined in this ball game, and the Cardinals closer is in. Our Chevy called to the pin. That's Trevor Rosenthal. We're all tied up, 7-7.
He's going to stay in that second spot. Colton Wong now out. Daniel Descalzo, who pinch hit, stays in the game to play second base. So not exactly your normal double switch, but you keep a guy in the game and you gain those extra spots. Plus you get Colton Wong out of the game, which probably in his best interest right now to make sure his shoulder's okay. Always fun to watch Rosenthal pitch. He can absolutely bring it.
He'll get the top of the lineup. Here's Aoki. RBI double in the fifth, walked in the seventh, and is grounded out twice. Ground ball, Descalso.
Thrice.
Cardinals, if this would go extra innings, you have Rosenthal here. Left in the pen, they've got Mott Martinez from the right side, Randy Choate from the left side. Line drive down the right field line, and that ball is fair. Infante is thinking two. He'll stop there. One out double. Initially, I thought he was headed to third and we'd have a play. Infante, the double, his first hit tonight.
Right off the bat, you knew it was a problem. It was down the line. It was hit on the line. And here he's thinking about three. He's watching the ball, picking up the coach, and hits the brakes.
Now it's Eric Hosmer with one out. Go ahead run at second base. 96 on that pitch from Trevor Rosenthal. Royals first baseman is struck out, singled into left, was hit by a pitch and scored, and grounded out to first. There's the go ahead run. Infante at second base. Base hit out to left. Here comes Holiday, and we'll have a play at the plate. Throw to home. Not in time. The Royals have the lead. It's now 8-7. Eric Hosmer with the RBI is 24th, and the Royals on top 8-7.
Liner to left, not quite hit hard enough to get to Holiday in a hurry. Comes up throwing and just a bit late. There's Holiday. Actually field that ball off to a side a little bit, and the throw offline a bit, but I don't think he's got a chance to get him anyway.
With the base hit, the throw to the plate, Hosmer advances to second. Now Gordon. Cardinals will have Holiday, Craig, and Molina in the bottom of the ninth. Give Kansas City some credit here tonight. Down 4-0. Then they took the lead, part of a 6-run inning, 6-4. Then the Cardinals came right back in the bottom, tied it up, then took the lead. When you're on the road, it's tough to win, as we have talked about so often. And Kansas City has come back to take the lead tonight, 8-7.
Well, you give Kansas City credit, you should, but you'd also have to say to the Cardinals, if you don't come back and win this game, this is a bad loss.
Without question.
Not all losses are created equal.
6 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position are the Royals. The walk to Gordon, and it brings in Salvador Perez. Perez picked up the first hit off of Pat Neshek when he came in with one out, nobody on in the eighth, and the Cardinals up by a run. Broken bat, and that's strike one. Perez was an all-star a year ago. And the last Kansas City catcher to be an All-Star, Darryl Porter. Caught Mariano Rivera's inning in the All-Star game last year. Was a Gold Glove winner. And the last Royal catcher to win a Gold Glove was Bob Boone back in the late 80s. So runners at first and second. No balls and a strike with one out. Double by Infante into the corner and right. RBI single by Eric Hosmer.
Royals had a pretty good catcher in the mid and early 80s too, Jim Sundberg.
Absolutely.
He was terrific.
Really overlooked. Solid player. 1-2 the count.
Pretty good swing at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You were thinking the same thing.
Absolutely.
I could tell, which is scary for, I think, both of us. But that had a little hop to it, but Perez has shown he can turn on it.
The 1-2 pitch to Salvador Perez. Ground ball that's fair. Carpenter to second. Out there, the turn by Descalso. Nicely done with that double play. Can they come back again tonight? 10 hits tonight for St. Louis. And the heart of the order coming up with Holiday, Craig, and Molina. Kansas City on top by a run. Stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Holland, an ERA of 1.74. Greg Holland, 15 for 16 in saves. 20 2/3, only 6 walks. A lot of strikeouts, 30 this year. It's our Chevy called to the pen.
And if you go back to a year ago, Dan, he's even better than that. 55 out of 57 in save opportunities. So he's been lights out. Leads the American League in saves and averaging 13 strikeouts per 9 innings.
I think, again, and we don't see them play every day, obviously, but looking at the back end of this bullpen, you can see why they have expectations that are pretty high with this team if they can get their offense going.
Absolutely. And there's some pieces on the offense that have been underachieved.
Yes.
So it's a reasonable thought.
Here's Matt Holliday. Couple of walks tonight. Craig and then Molina. Outfield extremely deep. First pitch. Two and one. Two and two.
Cardinal fans not giving up.
Making some noise, trying to get any kind of excitement back in this game from the Cardinals' perspective. Here's a 2-2.
Outfield deep. Holland's going to throw that slider about 41% of the time, and it can be nasty.
The 3-2. Struck out Holliday. How about that? Paints the corner, picks up the strikeout.
Not sure if this was just a four-seamer or a little cutter, but it did cut, and it cut right to that outside corner, just barely. That's just a four-seamer with a little movement to it. Four-seamers at 96, the slider at 85, and we've also seen the split, which he throws very hard at 89.
Here's Craig. Fly to deep center last time up. Look at that motion, Rick. He falls off to the first base side and slow, and then boom, explodes to the plate.
He does, almost probably a little bit of a surprise because he starts so slow and then he just jumps at you.
Knee buckler right there. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 outside.
Throwing mid to upper 90s, and he's not throwing the ball straight either.
Two and two. The Cardinals cannot come back. This turns out to be one of the more disappointing homestands the Cardinals have had in recent memory. 2 of 3 against the Yankees they dropped, then 3 of 4 against San Francisco. and potentially dropping 2 straight here to the Royals. Last 17 home games, the first 9 they went 7-2. The one bump in that 7-2 homestand, you may remember, was blown out by Chicago, and then the Sunday game against Atlanta. Went on the road for 3, and this is what they've done here in the last 8.
And we've pinned a lot on the hitting or lack thereof in this series, but you notice the Cardinals' ERA hasn't been very good in this homestand either compared to that 7-2 homestand.
The 2-2. Ooh, Holland walking off the mound as if he had a called 3rd strike.
I think C.B. Buckner has had a good night behind the plate. He's had a lot of close calls, and he got that one right just barely. But you know, CB has often drawn some attention from managers on both sides, but I think he's been really, really good tonight. Give him some credit.
The 3-2 to Alan Craig. He has struck out Holiday. Now Craig, and it's up to Yadier Molina. We turn to tonight's Budweiser player of the game. It's the left fielder, Alex Gordon, 2 for 4 with a 3-run homer, a single, and a walk. The night that became 10 years in the big leagues tonight for Yadier Molina. The anniversary of that day in 2004. Tough night for Molina. Bases loaded, hit into a double play. Fly to right, grounded out to short, and is popped out. Hitless tonight. Average has dipped to below 300. First time in a while. We mentioned it. It seems like a long time ago, but early on in this game, the Cardinals had plenty of opportunities to add on to their lead.
Some of it was the Cardinals not hitting with runners in scoring position, and some of it was some terrific defensive plays by Kansas City, most notably the shortstop Escobar.
The 1-1. Now make it 1-2. The Birds down to their final strike. Wainwright going tomorrow. Also of concern after the game tonight will be the health of Colton Long. Here's a 1-2 to Molina. Fly ball into right, and the Royals have taken the first 2 here in St. Louis. 8-7 the final.
Tough loss for the Cardinals. Garcia was given the lead early on, and then he just lost the feel of his pitches, and unfortunately the Royals took advantage of that, and it had a big 6-run 5th inning, and that's really the difference in this game.
Post-game show comes your way with Hungo and Pat Paris. Hope you stay with us. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is next.